Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your January 2019 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here by Himalayan Salt Lamp Light. Why do I keep getting that Justice card in the same position over and over again? Interesting. The fact that I'm a Sun in Sagittarius, I'm taking more interest in this particular reading than I normally do. The heart of the matter for January, it's a new beginning. I love it because of the fact that it's January. Ace of Swords, but this is like, in particular, I think it's like being resolute about something. In other words, no longer having a certain type of, fuzziness or kind of being torn between two possibilities or even more possibilities. Just really feeling that you are clear on something. And sometimes I feel like this can be that you were allowing someone to kind of manipulate you or play on your sympathies, prey on your sympathies, and now you're clear that you are not going to put up with that anymore. You're not going to be manipulated, you're not going to be guilted, and you have the right to change your mind about something. I mean, if there's some kind of a situation where you thought you had to go through with something, no, you don't have to. You can actually go your own way, and I think that that's what you're going to do, actually, and I'll get to that in a bit. But also, the Ace of Swords is a victory of sorts, and it's actually a very positive card, but it's coming out sometimes from a period of maybe conflict or just a lot of strife, if you will, that you're able to forge your own way. The card that challenges you is the Justice card, and I've been getting this several times. Now, of course, there might be some kind of a legal matter that you are having to deal with. And obviously, I'm not going to go through all those possibilities. In personal relationships, it could either be a divorce or a child custody issue. In some kind of professional sense, it might not be with a court of law, but it might be with, what do they call those, arbitrators or something, human resource personnel who have to look at an issue and decide who's in the right and who's not. And the point being that there may be something that is coming up for some sort of decision, and yet it's in the challenge position. So there may be some kind of complications with it, difficulties with it. January is a month where all the planets are direct after January 6th. So January and February, after January 6th, we have the, things seeming to progress. But obviously there might still be areas of your life where you have to kind of endure something. Now, it can also be a Libra person that is giving you problems. Now, it doesn't have to be in the romantic sense. This could be a coworker. This could be a boss. This could be a sibling or a parent who is, the word wackadoodle was coming into my mind because sometimes Librans who are not grounded and balanced are wackadoodle. And hopefully I'm not, there won't be any Libra people that have a Sagittarius rising or something and they're watching this. But yeah, there might be somebody of that sign, or they have a prominent Libra who is causing problems in your life, complicating your life, let's put it that way. let's look at the higher message. And this is kind of on the spiritual level. Now, the Tower card, there are two possibilities. This is kind of like the philosophical position. So one that comes out right away for me is that you want to be as proactive as possible in your life. In other words, whatever is going on, and I think that you are with the Ace of Swords, but it's kind of like a cautionary tale, because if there's a matter that still needs to be addressed, that the Justice card is pointing to, and you are kind of either, I don't know if it would be like you're procrastinating, because if this is a legal matter, there's nothing you can do to procrastinate. But if there's something that, or maybe even in the future, to think about in terms of your relationships, is to always, you know, kind of have the air clear as you go along. With the Ace of Swords, you may have endured something far beyond what you should have, and then when it finally dawned on you that you were taking this kind of abuse, now you're like taking no prisoners. You're just like, I'm done with this kind of behavior. And you really are seeing clearly, you know, as evidenced by the Ace of Swords, but you might have wasted a lot of time giving somebody the benefit of the doubt. That's what I'm trying to get at. In other words, sometimes people look the other way, or they make excuses for people, or they think the best of them, when in fact they should have been put on high alert that somebody was probably not acting in your best interests. And if you allowed that in your life, if you're married to somebody like that, if you have any kind of other, even like a relative who is behaving badly, and you think, oh, this person is my, you know, whatever relationship they're in, and so I have to accept this behavior, you may have realized that they were destructive and you had to cut them out of your life, or really severely limit your contact with such people. And it just is, sometimes it takes years and years to get the memo that somebody is, you know, actively trying to put you down and keep you back. And this could even be in the workplace. Definitely, because we have on the mundane level the Five of Wands. And this could be like if you're seeing the light about something. And, well, one more thing I wanted to say about the Tower card from the philosophical perspective is that not only do you have to kind of maintain this constant transparency, you know, by you doing it on your end, you automatically weed people out, because the more that you express anger in an appropriate way when it's occurring, or misgivings, or kind of saying, you know, I don't know if this is a good idea. And the more you do that, the more that you can kind of garner information on who has your back and who is, you know, not there for you. And but also the Tower card reminds us never to awfulize our lives or fear some kind of imagined calamity, and therefore play small in life, tolerate nonsense and things like that. Because what we have here in the current state is the Five of Wands. This, to me, is, in this particular reading, could be like a dog-eat-dog environment where you have to jockey for position, and it's kind of like bringing home the idea that if you're in this type of workplace, this is not how it should be. And the Justice card in reverse could point to that, could point to unfairness in the workplace, where some people get away with so much and you do one little thing and they come down on you. And you're finding this out with the Ace of Swords. You're getting this memo. But the problem is that you may, even when you're aware of it, you may still try to operate in that toxic environment and act like, you know, just because you know you've got their number, that you can still, you know, function in that environment. And I feel like it's not working, you know. What's coming in is a great card because this is the High Priestess. This is a card of inaction. And really, if you think about it, this is a card that asks you to meditate, be still and know, connect with your higher self, because that will give you guidance. And you may, like I said, with the Ace of Swords, you may already have a clear, like a clarity of mind in a lot of ways that you haven't had in quite a while, but it's on the outer level. Now we're talking about the inner level, like you getting clear mentally about this situation and being able to deal with it in a way that is appropriate. I would say specifically if this is with a person who is a Libra or has like a prominent Libra, because I'm getting these swords cards. Understand that this person may come on, you know, a Libra person who is really more of a narcissist, I've been using that word a lot lately, will come on very charming. They call it love bombing, you know, and they really they just come on full blast, and there's nobody who knows how to do that better than a Libra. And then if you see on the top right with the Five of Wands, there's a lot of combativeness. There's a lot of fighting, okay? And this is because the person is luring you into the web. Once they get you into that web, their true colors come out. And their true colors are about creating conflict. This is what energy vampires are all about. Narcs are energy vampires. And so their purpose is to lower the vibration so that they can feel like not only are you starting to question yourself, but also so that they can feel more powerful. They can feel like you are cut down to their size because they don't love themselves. That's the bottom line. They may act like they do, but they really don't. And they may see you and they're jealous of your light, you know, or envious of your light. And so empaths are, if you're an empath, and I think a lot of Sagittarians are, even though we are not water signs, we're still very passionate being fire signs. And we tend to wear our hearts on our sleeve. And so other people can very easily suss us out and figure out what we're, you know, all about. And it's like an open book, you know. We're not Scorpios. So we're kind of like puppy dogs, and people, it's easy for them to see where we're coming from because we don't have a facade. And so they can create this ideal lover or this ideal boss, ideal parent, ideal whatever, knowing what we want, knowing what we're craving, and then turn on us. So you have to be able to see the pattern. And if you're in a long-term relationship, to see the recurring pattern. See how the person turns on the charm and then starts fighting. And, you know, and they may say something that they know will trigger you. And it's done by design. They know, you know, that if they throw this grenade, that it's going to blow up in your face and that you're going to react. So it takes you playing for, you know, fourth dimensional chess to be able to just outsmart somebody like that. And, you know, speaking of which, speaking of, you know, outsmarting somebody, that's what this card is all about. Now, this card can be, you know, sketchy behavior, cheating, even physical theft. In this context, being the outcome card, this can be you leaving this relationship in a way that doesn't, you know, create drama, where you can just kind of like ease yourself out of it. The Seven of Swords is about going your own way. And with the High Priestess preceding it, I think that Sagittarians are really connecting to spirit. And, you know, we have had our ruler Jupiter in the 12th house for a whole year. Now it's in our sign, so that's great. But we've had these lessons learned from Jupiter being in that 12th house. And maybe some of those things, I know in my case, I didn't necessarily take advantage of them in a full way, like, you know, meditation, signing up for certain things and maybe not pursuing it fully. We still have the option now, when Jupiter is in our sign, to do those kind of things, because even in the first house, Jupiter is all about the spiritual, the religious. So having that discipline can serve you well. And with the Seven of Swords, it's realizing perhaps that you need to kind of like strategize. You know, that's another meaning for the Seven of Swords. And it's really using your brain power to figure out what your next move is. And this could involve a specific person in your life that you may be trying to get away from or get closer to. This could be a court case that you need to kind of step up your game about, because maybe the other person is trying to create a lot of drama to get you back, or who knows why this is happening, or a workplace situation that is unfair. You know, whatever it is, you may need to kind of like lay low and strategize. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. If you'd like a private reading, you can click the link below this video. I wish you a happy new year. Take care. Bye.